What's up, Pen and The Shank family? Welcome to another episode of the Pen and The Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience on YouTube, where today we're going to talk about Pretty Privilege and Misty Roberts, ex-mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana, where she just got recently sentenced. It was brought to my attention by a viewer that the pretty privileged Misty Roberts was finally sentenced for her ferocious crimes of having relations in front of her kids at a pool party where she's the mayor of all the constituents at the party, and she bought and purchased and handed out alcohol to underage kids at a pool party. Yeah, let's got to talk about this savage she-hulk, savage she-woman, savage she-savage, Misty Roberts. I got to talk about this because I covered it in a prior video and saw where a viewer, gave me some heads up that she was recently convicted, man, and I was surprised, to say the least, y'all. She was convicted of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile. And get the drum roll ready because I'm about to tell y'all how much time this woman got. 1, 2. 90 days. That's right. Misty Roberts got 90 days in the parish jail for being convicted of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile, a 16-year-old boy. Let me tell y'all something. I was in prison in the state of Louisiana. The state of Louisiana hands out prison sentences like Santa Claus hands out gifts. They had dudes who I personally knew who were in prison on these same charges, carnal knowledge of a juvenile, indecent behavior with the juvenile, and they were doing 10 plus years on it. 10 plus years first offense. And the victim was 16 years old, same as Misty's victim. So how does Misty only get 90 days in jail? Riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this and tell me, well, here we go. The riddle is this: because she is privileged. And I know we overuse that word in our society now because everybody got a term for privilege. You fill in the blank. Blank privilege, blank privilege, blank privilege is never ending. But pretty privilege has existed before all this other so-called privilege stuff did. And if you look at pictures of this woman, and she was the mayor. So being the mayor, she obviously had connections, and there's still people who are obviously in the judicial system in the town of DeRidder, Louisiana, where she was the mayor of. Well, I guess I'm assuming they're showing her a little sympathy, and she's asking for a little bit of grace, and they obliging her accordingly. Let me tell you something. The DA, whose name was Charles Robertson, said this. He said, this is not a dumb lady. This is somebody who managed an entire city budget. This woman she was the mayor of DeRidder, and she basically spit in the face of the city of DeRidder by doing what she did in front of her own children. Man, look, she got 2 suspended 5-year sentences as well, but they're suspended. She has to register as a S-blank-X offender, and she has to submit to periodic alcohol and drug analysis test as part of her probation. But 90 days in jail, y'all. How does this woman right here manage to get 90 days in jail? Well, look at her, and you can probably figure that out on your own. And if we don't sit here and cover the fact and talk about the fact that this pretty privilege is a real thing, then I guess we're missing the mark, man, and we're not doing it justice. Something that stood out to me was the fact that the victim's mother gave an impact statement. This is what she said. I want you to listen to these words real good. She said, "Danger doesn't always look like danger. This predator has hair extensions, high heels, Botox, and other augmentations." Obviously talking about the looks of Misty and saying, look, man, she may look the part, but this woman is a savage and she needs to go to prison. Judge, Your Honor, how did she only get 90 days? We'll never know the answer to that. She gets an opportunity, Misty does, to give her statement and apologize, in which she did apologize. But there was one particular thing that I quote that she had that I would like to share. She said, "I'm here just asking for grace and mercy and the opportunity to do what the Lord has asked me to do, which is to be a mom." Was she being a mom the night she had a pool party and she was serving alcohol to underage kids so that she can bag an underage kid in her pool in front of her own children? Nah, she wasn't. I don't know if this woman's sorry. You don't even know who's sorry anymore. The word sorry comes out of people's mouth and it does not mean nothing. You can say you're sorry, but how often do we see a change of direction in a person's life to where they start living? After Misty does her little 90 days in jail, let's get back, and y'all know what I like to do. That's what the judge did to her hand. Bad little Misty. Bad little Misty. Don't you ever have pool parties again, Misty. Bad little Misty. And Misty was like, "Ow, Your Honor. Ow." Bad little Misty. "Ow, Your Honor. Ow." The judge probably liked it because of the way this woman looked. So she got off on it. Slap on the wrist. Man, come on, y'all, man. I know dudes in prison who was on these same charges, good dudes, who got caught up with carnal knowledge. And they got a 10 piece. Here's a 10 piece. Can I have that 10 piece half spicy, half mild? I like some white. Can I get 2 weeks? Nah, you gonna get this 10 piece how we take it. Right here. Boom. Now go do your 10 piece the way we say it. And I know a dude, he had to register as a S-blank-X offender for the rest of his life. He wound up, getting addicted to narcotics when he came home from prison, and ultimately it took his life. But he was a good dude, man. And he was, I think, 18. He was 17 or 18 years old, and he had a carnal knowledge charge. And the girl was at a nightclub at a party where she should have never been in, and one thing led to the next, and it was consensual. And he had slept with her that night, and her parents found out. And she even told the parents, she told the DA, it wasn't forced. I wanted to do it. We did it. And he did not know. He honestly did not know that she was 16 years old. And like I said, he was 18. And he got charged with this crime. And he literally got 10 years in prison. He did like 8 of the 10 years in prison. It was 85% back then. And he got out of prison and he had to register as an offender. And he was 18 and she was 16. Misty was in her 40s when she messed with a 16-year-old, and she only got 90 days. Justice isn't blind. Justice clearly sees and picks and chooses who it wants to sentence to how it wants to sentence a person based on their physical appearance. And Misty got a pass. Anyway, share in the comments. What say you? Do you think the judge was too lenient on Misty Roberts, or do you think 90 days is fair? Some people be honest. That's what we do on this channel. We want to be honest. You might think it's totally fine that she got a slap on the wrist. That's bad little Misty. Bad little Misty. And then the judge goes back and no telling what they doing in the judge's chambers. That happens all the time too, man. We live in a crazy society, man. Welcome to the Pen and The Shank, the most unusual and unique crime prison channel experience on YouTube, where you should give me a like, subscribe, and comment, and go back and watch some of my videos. Help the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience blow up to the moon on YouTube.